Yes, that was from Ghana. An appropriate way to welcome our guest, Mrs. Lynch, Nanama. And as we do in our culture, before we go into important matters that are relating to us as a people, what we do is we pour libation. So we're going to ask Nanama. We don't have, my apologies.
It's okay.
Yes.
She's in the studio.
Yes.
So and I forgot too.
Yes. We're going to pour libation as we ask the ancestors to guide us through this. And a lot of you, the listeners to this program, basically we have Mac from Kenya, who is always here with us every Thursday morning.
From Kenya?
Yeah, he's from Kenya,
okay,
Mac.
That's
yes,
nice.
Always participates a lot.
Okay.
And so we have people like Isis who are always giving thanks. Kenneth, always giving thanks to the ancestors. So this is a very appropriate way for us to start this segment of the program by asking Nanama to pour libation. Nanama, you can go ahead.
Thank you. Well, I'm not going to speak white man language. I am going to speak my African language to call my ancestors to grace this occasion in the studio for us. Ago.
Amen.
Mese, young Crawford, Mabaha, Menyanko, Minia, Sista P. Or from there, member the studio, into my studio, into year from one bra, one boshe, as a year yawaha. The chairman, opinion for. It's a libation, ya me Mamma, me a nsa nensu na mezere mo wan. Wanje, wannum. Wabe be seeing Nanama Lynch. A messiero nitoika. Mo cod mufo. Mfen. Iko for Kenton. Iko Ghana can get the aqua. Kenton iko for. Mo cod me bow. Editian onion. Ese singing yum dandy namfon. So man no mufom. Yanakaman, monke, ndan no mufo. Mo cod mufo. Mbok. Editian onion. Ese yum dandy nam. O fan me ye ne kame, Sista P. Oko code me attend the studio here. Knitting ko. No mufo. So me. It's a song.
Do we have the clearance from the ancestors to go forward, Nanama?
Yes.
They have cleared us to go forward. We give thanks. And before going any further, I want to thank Nova, because when I put out the request for someone to sponsor Nanama to come in, Nova was right there. And Nova, we really want to thank you, because this is a special occasion. You know, Nova is always there. We have some listeners who are always there. They always rise to the occasion.
Mr. Nova there, standing?
That is Jocko. Okay. Jocko, come in and let Mrs. Nanama meet you. This is Mr. Styles.
Mr. Styles?
Mr. Styles.
Okay, sir. Good morning.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
It's nice being here.
Okay, Nanama. Mm-hmm. It's a long story.
Yes.
Born in Ghana. Ghanaian mother. From Cape Coast. And at least I know a little bit that if you're from Cape Coast, you are Fanti.
Fanti, yes.
Yes. And a lot of people in Jamaica do not understand when we talk about the Ashanti people. And I've been trying to tell them that the Ashanti people are only like one branch of the Akan people.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So you are also Akan, but you are Fanti.
Fanti, yeah.
So your mother is Fanti, and then your father is from Nigeria.
From Calabar.
From Calabar, Nigeria, which
Efik.
we're going to... Efik.
Yes.
Big story behind that, listeners. Big story behind that whole Efik thing. I know a little bit about it, but I couldn't even begin to start to talk about it because it's too big for me. When I say bigger than you, it's bigger than me. Okay, so you are here in Jamaica.
Yes.
Met and married a Jamaican or an African of Jamaican heritage.
Yes.
Oh, no.
No.
A Jamaican of African heritage.
Yeah.
And here we are. On top of that, all of that I have said, you own a property on which a dungeon exists where enslaved people were taken off of the big ship out in the sea,
Brought inside here.
brought by boats to this particular place, taken from there to where?
Taken from there and distributed to slave masters. We have a place here in between Portland, East Portland and St. Thomas. We have the Quaws up in the hills, and they came through my property. And they were working for the slave master Jones.
That's Ken Jones.
Yes, Ken
Who we
Jones.
so proudly have his name on the airport.
Yes, so they are up there at the crossing leading to Bath,
Yes.
up in the hills. When I came here in 74 on leave with my husband, I used to go there and I used to see some of the old folks there, and I used to speak Efik with them. Like
Because they're from Calabar.
from
and you,
Calabar,
and
they are
you-
Quaws.
Yes, and you're
yes, and I'm
Calabar
from
also.
Calabar, so we used to speak the Efik language with the old ones. But they've all died off now since I came back in '88. But in 1974, I used to go up there, like I used to go to Motown to see the Colonel Harris. I used to speak Akan with the Colonel until Colonel, got blind and I had to go back to Africa, to Nigeria, as a matter of fact. So I came back recently and Colonel has passed.
Yes.
But I still see my people here. Most of the people here in Jamaica are Igbos, Yorubas, Akans, Efiks, and some other tribe from Congo.
That's interesting that you say that, because one of the things that I have noticed, we have a tendency here in Jamaica. Most of us in this room, going through school, we're told that Arawaks were the first people in Jamaica. And then years later now, with the newer generation, there were no Arawaks here. They were Tainos here.
Tainos,
Yes. We were also told that the majority of people in Jamaica came from Ghana, which, after my research, well, not so much research, but because I'm, so much into my culture, found out that in the first part of the trade, the people came from Ghana.
Yes.
The second half of the trade, the people came from Nigeria.
Yes, we have Ibibios
We're never told
too.
that. We're never told that. So we keep talking about Ashanti and Ghana. No. And I always say to people, you see how Jamaica people love trickify people? Nigeria. Nigeria.
Yes, Niger.
Tricky Fry. You know, there are certain things that you say that you cannot say it in English. You have to say it in your language, like Tricky Fry. I don't know if I word like that, but it just sounds right. You know? Yes. So you are saying then that the people, there were Igbo people.
Yes.
Efik. Yoruba.
Yes.
Yes. And, well, we know that is from, and all of these people are from Nigeria.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And in particular, and which area in particular?
We have Ibibios too.
We have who?
Ibibios. Yeah, the Ibibios and the Efiks.
The Efiks, yes.
Are brothers and sisters.
Okay. Yes.
So what happened in Ibibio land and Efik land? There were two brothers who were fighting, right? And the other one got his machete to go and kill the other one, and the other brother ran from Ibibio land, that is Oron, on a boat to get to Calabar, right? So the two brothers, one was in Ibibio land, that is Akwa Ibom state now, and the other one is in Cross River, who are the Efiks. That is the history.
Yes.
You understand?
Yes.
So right now in Cross River state, when we first had the state division, we had southeastern state, that we had the Ibibios and the Efiks ruling the other tribes in Cross River State. That is the Ogoja people, and I have it here. The Ogoja people, and we call them Atam. Atam people. That's what the Efiks and the Ibibios call them. But this is it. We have the Ekois, Efik, Ibibio. You see? Yes. Calabar. The Efiks and the Ibibios are one people. They speak the same language, but different dialects. The Efiks. And then we have the East Central Igbo, that is Enugu. And then we have the Jaws from Rivers and Port Harcourt, right?
And all of these people from these different areas, ended up being captured and brought to Jamaica.
Yes. Because we are by the sea.
Yes. Just like the Fanti people.
Yes. We are by the sea, so the Portuguese people came first to Calabar. All this sea.
Yes.
The Igbos are interland. All these are the people that were captured. Port Harcourt, River State, Jaws, were brought here.
So how did they end up in Ross Craig? How did that come about?
Ross Craig was a Scottish slave master.
Oh, there was a man named Ross Craig, and he was a Scottish slave master.
Yes, he owned 2,000 acres.
Okay.
Of land from what do you call it? Long Bay, up to the crossing to go to Rich Falls, Newton. He owned all those areas. And then he was smuggling our people, into Ross Creek. He had these enslaved buildings. You saw it. And, and then he will distribute our people round to other slaves.
So he was like a broker.
Yes.
Everybody would come to him.
Yes.
And then Mr. Scottish slave master would now just pass way on to everybody else.
Yes.
Sell way on to everybody else, not just pass us on. Sell us on to everybody else. Yes.
And he was doing business with our people.
He was doing big business.
Yes.
You know, listeners, I hope that you are finding this very informative. And, you know, as I keep saying, if we don't know who we are and where we're coming from, we can't even fight the mighty fight that we need to get out there and fight. We can't. It's like we are disabled, we're crippled. Because we keep thinking that everything in Jamaica started with independence, or that Michael Manley and these people actually did something for us, which they did not, other than divide us up into further tribes. And
so this is it. So in Nigeria now, Nigeria is huge.
Yes.
Most of the people that came to the New World were people from our area.
That's Calabar.
Let's start from here. Ekoi people, because all this is the sea.
Yes.
You see? We have Ekoi, we have the Efik Ibibio people, same people, and then we have the Jos, and then we have Kalabari, all by the seaside, right? And then we have the Chekiris.
Never heard of them, yes.
And we have the Orobos.
Yes.
And then we have the Edos, who are from Benin City.
Okay.
In the 18th century, Benin City had street lights. We had street lights in Benin City.
You hear that, listeners? That's how we're backwards. You hear that?
We had street lights in Benin City. So now, all these people were from the riverine areas. That's how the Portuguese were able to capture us. And then they take us to Lagos, and the Lagosians, most of them are from Benin City, from Edo.
Okay.
Right? They came.
Benin City, just for listeners who don't know, Benin City is different from the country named Benin.
Yeah, this is Benin City.
Yes, this is Benin
Benin
City.
Is Dahomey.
Yes, and Benin
is
Dahomey.
Part of Nigeria. The British carved it out and gave to the French. And then they carved Lomé from Ghana and gave to the French.
Yes, Togo, yes.
Togo. And they carved Burkina Faso
up and gave it to the French.
And gave it to the French.
Yes.
And then they carved Ivory Coast from Ghana also and gave it to the French.
Because if you see the rituals in the Ivory Coast and the rituals in Ghana, you realize that basically that is
people.
One people. Yes.
They're the same people. So this is what, the Caucasians did to us, Africans.
Yes.
They divided us and ruled us. And they are still doing it. They are still doing it. This time around, they are fighting for our oil.
Yes, and what was interesting this week is that the Prime Minister of England, Theresa May, went to South Africa.
Okay.
Where you go there for?
I wonder.
What you want over there? You never go over there because I know you're talking about, you want to do trade?
What kind of trade?
What you want to enslave? We again, that is a trade.
That's what they want.
I don't know. We cannot, let me tell you something. We cannot talk about trade unless we are on an equal playing field.
That is it.
We have to be seen as equals, but first we have to see ourselves as equals. If not, it's never going to be fair. It's never going to be fair.
So this is the history of our people from the riverine area of Nigeria and Ghana to Jamaica.
Yes.
And to the, our, what do you call it? The diaspora. Like mostly the Bashans are mostly Ghanaians.
The Bajans?
Yeah, from Barbados, yes.
Well, they're mostly Ghanaians.
Yes, they are mostly Ghanaians.
Yes. And I was...
but in Jamaica now, we have the fighting people of Nigeria. Niger.
Yes, yes.
When will the Jews and the Muslims unite? When will the Christians and the Muslims come together? This unity among the people every day fussing and fighting. That this unity among the Jaja people. Jayo, shanana shanana lo.
Yes, we're listening to Magic Fashek, who is a reggae artist out of Nigeria, and you hear what he's calling for: African unity. Now we have some comments on the board, and Bonnie from Port Moran says that that Ross Craig place, yes, went as far as to Holland Estate in St. Thomas. And then we have from Grace. Bring back Grace there for me, please. Grace says, blessed morning, great learnings, priceless. Thank you both for the teaching. And she says, many thanks to Nova for the sponsorship. I love learning about my ancestors. Just yesterday I started looking up my ancestors. I found great-great-grandparents from both sides. Sad how it's harder to trace some of them. So many names. And then Isis is asking a question of you. Isis there for me, please, guys. Ask Nanamo, how far up the Niger River could a ship sail? That's the first question. How far up?
It can go far up to, let's say, the Benue, that is near the Benue River, that is near the Tiv area, the Kutev area. I don't know how many miles, nautical miles.
Yes,
I'm 76 now, so I don't know how many nautical miles it will go, but it can go far down the Niger up to the Benue. And the Benue is in
the Benue. He's asking if you can navigate on the Benue.
Yes, you could with canoes, large canoes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. Now we want to get back now to my question. How did you end up owning such an important piece of property in our heritage?
Well, Ross Craig property is a big story. I was in London. I went to Battersea Market. I never used to shop in Battersea Market. I used to shop at Brixton Market. But this day, the ancestors, I had nothing in the house. So I decided, let me wait for Brixton on Friday or Saturday. Ancestors pushed me. They talk to me, sometimes, and said to me I should go to Battersea Market. So I went to Battersea Market. I did my shopping, my Jamaican shopping and my African shopping in Battersea Market. I had £5 left in my purse for my mini cab home. And then there's this old woman, gypsy woman, who stopped me and said she wants money from me. Just like that, forcefully. So I was taken aback, but I gave her the money. And she said to me, take 3 cards from my table. So I took the 3 cards. I looked and handed it over to her. She took out the first card and looked on it and said to me, lady, you are going to travel to a far country. She doesn't know where, but I will. This is 10 years before I came to Jamaica. She took the card from me, looked on it, and then the second card says, well, she's feeling sorry for me because the husband that I've chosen has to pay. I said, pay what? She said she doesn't know, but he has to pay. But he will be sick. He is not going to die. And that was the second card I had. And then she came back to the first card again and said to me, there's a property that you have to buy when you go to this far country. She doesn't know where, she doesn't know, but then I asked her, how will I buy this property? I don't have the money to buy a property. She said to me, you will have the money when the time comes. So I said, okay. I gave her the money, and then I left. And then she said to me, when you go to buy this property, any amount they ask you to pay for the property, you shouldn't bargain. You pay and you buy the property. I said, but how can, I'm a Nigerian, how can I go to buy property and I don't bargain? He said, no, you don't have to bargain. That property belongs to you. You have to buy it. I said, okay, I hear you. This was 10 years before I came to Jamaica with my husband. I went the whole round Jamaica looking for this property. The woman had told me that if I got to the property, I would know. So I went to Mandeville. My husband likes Mandeville because of the weather. Went there. No, that's not what the woman says. I didn't get no sign. I went to Westmoreland, where my husband comes from. No sign. St. Anne, I went all around the island. When I got to St. Mary, border between St. Mary and Portland, rain. We had a storm. So I left, drove into Portland. Then I met my friend, Mrs. Perry, from Tories Board.
Yes, Polly Perry. Yes.
Polly Perry. I went to her office. We spoke. Amelia, you're in Jamaica. I said, yes, but I told you I was coming. I would come to Jamaica someday. So, she was, you are here? I said, yes, I'm here. So we chatted, and it was lunchtime. And I said to her, Polly, I'm looking for property to buy. And he said, well, there is a gentleman, Sir D, we call him. That's DeLeon Lindsay. And I said, Lindsay? She said to me, yes, Lindsay. I said, but I know that name. I said, my great-grandfather used to say he had a friend whose name was Lindsay. Because my great-grandfather was a slave in Tennessee. His slave master was called Perkins. So I have the name, my slave master's name, Perkins. So Nanama Udoibok Perkins Lynch. That's my name. I have two slave masters' names, but I have my African name, Udo Ibok. That means second son of the medicine man. That's Udo Ibok. That's the meaning. So my great-grandfather had his name with the Perkins, but Mass Perkins gave them money, and they shipped them to Liberia. So he and his friend, Mr. Lindsay, were in Liberia. My great-grandfather, our family, we had rubber plantation in Adiabo, in Calabar. And we leased the land to Michelin Tires. Yes. So we had the rubber trees on the land. So my great-grandfather now told his friend, Mr. Lindsay, to buy land with the money that they had, the American dollars that they had. Maybe I think they were gold coins then. So Mr. Lindsay bought land in Liberia. My grandfather told him to plant rubber trees because we had rubber trees on our land in Calabar. So Mr. Lindsay got rubber trees, and then Michelin also in Liberia, the tire people.
And it all ties in because with the whole thing with Marcus Garvey and Liberia giving the okay for Africans in the diaspora to move there. And then because of these same tire companies with the rubber trees, the Liberian government discontinued their offer because they saw where they could make money out of the rubber trees and the rubber. But to get back to it, so when you saw Polly Perry, this is where she took you to where you are now?
Yes, to Mr. Lindsay.
To Mr. Lindsay.
Yes. My great-grandfather's friend's grandson.
Wow. Talking about ancestors
You
at work.
see? The ancestors work,
Wow.
They are working. Their eyes are closed, but their ears are not closed. Their spirits are around us all the time. So I don't know why some people don't want to honor their ancestors. I honor my ancestor, all of them. So I met Mr. Lindsay with Polly Perry and Mrs. Williams. Mrs. Williams is about old now, older than me now. And they took me to Mr. Lindsay. Mr. Lindsay was having his siesta, so we had to wait for him. So he says to me, "You want land?" I said, "Yes, I want land." Then I said to him, "Are you related to one Mr. Lindsay who used to be in Liberia, who had rubber plantation in Liberia?" He said, "Yes, he was his grandfather." So I said, "Well, I'm your first daughter. I want land." So he took me up to Kensington, all the places there where they have Ross Craig had property. And I said, "No, this is not the property that I'm supposed to get." So he says to me, "Oh, there's a property down, the other side, but I'm leaving it for my son, my first son." Then I said to him, "But I'm your first daughter."
Yes, you put your Nigerian thing.
Yes, so I said, "Yes, I'm your first daughter now." So he said, brought me down to the seaside, As we got into the gate, there was this whirlwind. Whirlwind, like a twister, like what they have in the States.
Yes, like a tornado.
Yeah,
yes.
like a tornado twister. And then I started having goose pimples all over my body. Then I said to Mr. Lindsay, "This is the land I want." I had to sell 2 of my houses in London to buy this land with my husband. So 2 nice houses. By now I would have been a millionaire in London.
So when you got the land, did you know at the time that this slave dungeon was on there?
I didn't know.
So the ancestors just lead you right?
They just led me to the land. As I saw the tornado thing, the twister, and my body felt, I was feeling cold. And it was sunny. So I knew
that something was happening there.
Yes, that this was the land that this woman told me 10 years ago that I should buy. So Mr. Lindsay gave me the price. I did not, bargain. And I told Polly I have to go back to Kingston. But what happened, Polly said, she has a meeting the next day. So I said, okay, Tony, you go back to Kingston. Polly will bring me the next day. So I stayed over in Polly's house.
After you got the property, how long did it take you to realize that you had such an important building on there that was basically connecting us to our past? How long did it take you to find that out?
It took me at least 5 years.
Wow.
Yes, I just saw an old building. I didn't know, It was when I was because I was running away from, doing this ancestral work. Well, I used to be a jazz singer. I used to sing jazz in Mango Club in London, in Brixton. I wasn't going to,
It's like I was a real party girl. Real party girl, yes.
That was what I used to do.
So it took you 5 years
to know,
to realize that you had such an important building on your property.
On my property. So that is the story of my life. But then, when I started getting older, it was time for me to work with my ancestors. They got me in Ross grave.
Well, you find, that I think what's good about that is that I can say for myself, you do all of your fool running up and down when you're young, so that you don't have to become an elder and still trying to be 25 years old. You can appreciate the role that you play within your culture.
Yes.
Tell us about those buildings, because I tried to explain it to listeners on the program here.
The buildings are there.
We didn't go into the one because it was all covered over with vines and bush.
Yeah,
that is the dungeon. So they would actually, the people who they could not control.
Yes.
They would actually put those people in that dungeon to die.
Yes. Please, can you get me a little rum, please?
Rum? When I look at the board here now, I can see African unity. We only have to build on what we have here, and so much that we can do. Put aside this foolishness that religion and politics divide us up and have us running around like some, I don't know what the man of Florida say, yes, they call the man monkey. Say no want a monkey in our politics. Yeah, we don't want a monkey business fooling around here. So we need to get this thing together and realize. And one of the things that made the ancestors continue to guide me, so that at least I can bring something about ourselves. As I said earlier, bonfire, what that do? What that do? Bonfire and then what? Send your picnic go the same people in where you bonfire, send them go to school. If you're sick, you go to them hospital. That don't make no sense. When we know more about ourselves, we will be able to rise up. And as Marcus Garvey says, up, you mighty race. And the more that we know about ourselves is the more that we can do that. Be up, you mighty race. Let me just, before we go to the break here, I tell you, there is so much to cover. So much to cover. Mac is from Kenya. Bring up Mac there for me, please, Cassidy. First of all, Grace says, many thanks to Nova. And Nova said, you're welcome, my sister, anytime. Blessings. Mac Bring up Mac for me, please. Mac says, I'd like to add to what our guest speaker said about white man border. They divided people that were together in East Africa as well. We have Kenyan Luo tribe who are also found in Tanzania and Uganda along Lake Sango, which is, they call it Lake Victoria. Yeah, the Kenyan Maasai are also in Tanzania following the Great Rift Valley. The Maasai are the only people in Kenya who don't need passports to cross the Kenyan-Tanzanian border. See how much we're learning about ourselves just from this one encounter.
And then we have Maasai in the diaspora too, from Antigua and Barbuda.
Oh.
The Maasai were taken from Kenya and brought to Antigua and Barbuda and used as tots. They were tots, making babies for the slave masters in Antigua and Barbuda. They didn't use them to cut cane or anything. All they did was produce because they wanted the strong, tall, handsome black man to sell the women. So they used the Maasai as tots.
This is coming from Cheryl B. from Toronto. Good morning, Sister P. First time writing in. I am so happy and excited listening to her. We need all Jamaicans to hear and know who we are. I think it will make a difference to us Jamaicans. That is from Cheryl in Toronto.
Yes.
And I didn't mention to you that Isis is in Alberta, Canada. Okay. Calgary.
Calgary.
Yes.
See?
Any more you're familiar?
Oh,
boy.
Leave me now.
We'll joke at them. This is from Bunny. I can agree that Africa have made mistakes too, but for us as a race, we should start to develop nuclear energy and atomic energy. Well, you said the thing about it. We have it, Bunny, but you don't hear about our people. But there are some very interesting people. For instance, I mean, like even with the whole cell phone business, we were yes. Okay. Let me go ahead reading this. Our race should unite and pour money and technology together and start working on our defense as a nation. Or like the Chinese people, we are educated enough to carry out this mission to more than get rich, owning house, cars, nice clothes, and traveling, etc. But with the help of the spirit and drinking champagne and energy drinks, to the help of the spirit of the ancestors, we can achieve this. We only need to unite. And as he goes on further to say, in honor of our ancestors, give thanks for the spiritual vibration. Nikki's Tailoring, Styles FM, Nova in Illinois. Sister P, give thanks for our guest today. Give thanks for Cassidy too. This message won't fall on deaf ears.
Yes, Sister P, your ancestors are with you here right now.
Give thanks.
They are inside here in the studio. I came with them.
You came with them?
Yes.
You feel them?
I feel them. That's why I asked for the rum.
Yes. You're making me get very emotional.
Yes. I'm here. They are here. They are here with us.
Yes.
The rub, give her the rub, give Cassidy. They are inside here. Yes.
What a figwana, what a figwana. Street eternity chatting a sexual attraction. What a figwana, what a figwana. No drug addict in a definition.
We walk with Sandra.
Hey, hey! Answer one more time.
We're listening to Ras Kimono from Nigeria also.
Okay. So, sis, I'm here.
Did you take your break, Cassidy? You did? Okay, sit there.
I am here with your ancestors from Nigeria, from Ghana, from the yard, all of them.
Mm-hmm.
All the ancestors, the Ghanaians, the Nigerians, they are all here inside your studio. They came with me. So, our people have to unite. They are talking about atomic energy. We have all the raw materials, How you call it? Book people, how you call it?
Natural resources.
All the natural resources to make atomic bomb, we have it in Africa. All your cell phone, your planes, they go there, they give us guns to kill one another while they go mining our gold, leave gold alone, your, for your cell phone, for their planes. They get it from Africa. Diamonds, they have the diamond cartel. Putin is the richest president in the whole world right now because he went to Ivory Coast, Sierra Leone, and Liberia and gave us guns, AK-47s to kill ourselves and take all the diamonds from Liberia and Sierra Leone in his cargo plane to go to Russia. And now he's giving Africans in Russia $3,000 to leave Russia and go back to Africa. Dashing them $3,000 for Africans to leave Russia to go to back to Africa.
I have a message here for you. It's from Lisa. She says, "Hi, Mrs. Lynch, it's Lisa. Junior and I used to live with you and your family on that property. Nice hearing you."
Lisa.
She says, "Blessings," yes.
Okay. So, that is it. Africa must unite. Right now, we have Pa Marcus Garvey Street in Namibia. What do we have in Jamaica? We have only one street for him. What about his house where he lived in St. Anne? What is happening? What is happening to Pa Marcus Garvey? We don't teach what he taught us. We don't know. Our children don't know about him. What is happening in Jamaica? Jamaica is the eye of Africa. We are the eye of Africa, Jamaica. We have a river here that leads straight, the Swift River in Portland. We have the gateway, Three-Finger Jack, straight to Africa. Albion, yes. What are we doing?
Making a jackass of ourselves. That's what we're doing, Nanamo. That's what we're doing. We like the hype. We like when foreigners come and tell us, "Yes, Jamaica is the greatest, blah, 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 blah." And then we believe it. And then we do nothing because we think that everything is going to be okay from somebody tells us that, yeah, we're the greatest. We're the greatest. I have been talking on this program and I asked, how many listeners out there have ever been to Liberty Hall?
None.
Have ever been? You see what I'm saying? How many listeners have ever passed in St. Anne's Bay and looked at Marcus Garvey's house and this graceful condition? No, we don't do that. We don't do that. We worry more about what some one-song artist dissing some other next two-song artists. We worry about those things more. No, them have a new thing about the color of the police bike. I don't even know what color it is, and I could care less what color it is, as long as them have a bike. For go catch criminal. But everything them do, I don't even want to go there. I don't want to go there because it's really time. It's the listeners, it's those of you. I know that the only time that we demonstrate in Jamaica is we demonstrate for roads and we demonstrate for water. But guess what? You know where we demonstrate? In our own communities. You notice that in other communities when people demonstrate, they go to their head place, like they go to Washington, D.C. and demonstrate. We don't do that. We do it in our own communities and we deprive our own people in our own communities of moving around. You see, the day that we say thousands of us going to go to Kingston, thousands, and block them over there, that is when you're going to start real change in Jamaica. But we sit like some cowards, and we just...
And we are not cowards.
And we are not cowards. But we just sit, because we just tell ourselves so we can't do certain thing because them...
We give up.
Yes, we give up. This is who now? This is Shelley from Manchester, and she says, yes, Mama P, good topic. Loving it. It's the first time I am hearing this topic. So, no. One segment is not enough for you to be with us.
No.
That's the first thing Sandra said to me. Sandra called me and she said, Sister P, this can't be done in one segment. It's impossible. So we have to reschedule. And listeners, you know what rescheduling? Oh, we don't. So there, we don't talk about it. But because, yes, that is something that everyone is waiting to hear. That building, that slave building.
The building is there.
Yes.
Right now, I want to build a hotel on the property to be called Jam Afrique Colors Hotel on that property.
Before we go into that, I just want to say to you, because you said to me that you really want to sell a piece of the land, but you do not want to sell it to anyone that is not of our heritage.
Yes.
Yes. And it's an acre and 3/4 or something like that?
Yes, an acre and 3/4.
And you have no intentions of selling it to anyone that is not of African descent?
Yes.
And this is in that same area.
Same Ross Craig.
Same Ross Craig.
Yes.
Where we will know, as Nanama has taken over this slave master, at least she has been able to hold on to a piece of this slave master's property. And this will give us further input into how these lands are developed. Once again, too many of you overseas will sit down and talk about how the Chinese in Jamaica, and this is going on in Jamaica, and that is going on in Jamaica. But when comes time to step up to the plate, MIA, missing
Chinese.
in action. Yes.
Chinese are in Africa, marrying African women. They learned our history because if you are an in-law, we cannot hurt you. So like Kabu said, what you call it? Colonialism. What you call it? They marry us and they come and stay with us. We have their grandchildren.
It's neo-colonialism.
Yes.
Yes, it's a new, yes.
Yes. There's a word Kabu used that I've forgotten now. Anyway, settler colonialism, yeah?
Oh, settler
colonialism.
So that once you get married, then your children are entitled.
Yeah, they are my grandchildren. I can't hurt them. Huh? That is what Chinese are doing in Africa and in Jamaica. They marry us we have their children, and we have their grandchildren and great-grandchildren. So we can't hurt them. So they are part of us. Want to hear that? And we give them beautiful children. Because this melanin give every nation, every race. That's what we do. And that is what is happening in Africa now. They are marrying our girls, our young ladies. And now there is what you call this Chinese person. They have the center all over Africa.
Oh, the Confucius centers. And they're teaching Mandarin.
Yes, in Africa Mandarin, now.
Yes,
so
in
very
Africa, yes.
soon I'll be speaking Ching Chong.
Well, at least we'll be able to trade.
Yes. But no, it's true, because they are bringing their money to us, and marrying us. And they have learned our customs. Mm-hmm. So they are marrying our girls and having children who will be our grandchildren and our great-grandchildren. And you
can't run them out because them is Ghanaian.
You see? And they can dig all the gold and diamonds they want. Yes. But then they are bringing us their money, They are doing good work in Africa. Building highways and joining us, from East Africa to, West Africa, everywhere.
Manama, this too big.
Well, that's what's happening. That's what we are seeing. Big. We have to unite. Africa must unite. Right now, I want to go back to Africa and go to Addis Ababa and go to the African Union and chat with them and see what they have to do. We don't need visas anymore for Africans coming back to the motherland. That is white man thing, visa. I'm an African, I come to Africa, I come back from the diaspora, I'm in Africa, I don't need visa to go to Tanzania or Uganda or South Africa or Kenya or Ethiopia or Nigeria or Dahomey, or I don't need visa. I'm an African. I should be able to travel around Africa.
I tell you, me no even know, because say me can chat. Everybody know that. Me can chat you from only when me there, You see, when me reach my yard, I don't want nobody chat to me. Mm-hmm. When me reach my yard, I don't want nobody chat to me. But you see, when me there, me chat. And when you see me kind of speechless, because I don't even know what to say. Because this too much. But here's out there in Long Road. She says, "Serious Sister P, I never know all these things." Right.
I'm reading from my father's, diary, history book he passed on to me. All this I'm telling you is from my father's books. Well, photographs with everything. The Nigerians, everything. My father went to Ghana as a young man, and 5 of them were the people that pioneered Radio Ghana Broadcasting Corporation.
So your father was one of the persons who started Radio Ghana.
Yes.
And I have been in the studios of Radio Ghana.
Okay.
Not even knowing that there was a connection. Kabu and myself, yes.
Well, I have it here. The early days. Broadcasting began in this country on the 31st July 1935. And my father was one of the men. Well, there are 5 men. I remember his friend, His name was Mr. Buckman. I still remember his name. But the other three, I can't remember their name. And then my father was B.U. Perkins. Benjamin Udoibok Perkins.
First son, right?
Mm-hmm. Second son.
Second son, yes, second son.
Of the medicine man. Mm-hmm. And then we had the broadcasting began in this country as as a relay service. And the relay service today is still a most important part of the broadcasting system. The number of subscribers to the service is growing rapidly, and now total about 14,000.
Yeah, it's a long time ago.
That's a long time ago, 1935.
Yes. Let me just take this message here. Greetings, Sister P. It's a blessing having your special guest on today's program. I'm having thrills listening to her. Give thanks again for having her. More blessings to you and Cassidy. And this is Live Clean, and Live Clean is in Montreal, Canada.
Okay, Canada. Okay, so the last Governor General of Ghana was known as Sir Arnold Hudson. They used to call him the Sunshine Governor. He left Ghana in 1947. So
Mama P, we want to hear her again. On week again. One more week. Well, listeners, step up to the plate, please. Step up to the plate. Because we are almost out of time. And we don't... Nanamo,
yes.
Sandra is there. We want to talk about that building. The
building is there. Like I say, I need to... how do you call it? Refurbish it. The building is there. You can come and see.
You don't need to refurbish it.
Or we leave it as it is.
We leave it as it is.
Yes. Okay.
We leave it as it is.
Well, they don't even want me to put a roof on it.
No, we don't want nothing on there.
They say I should leave it.
We don't want nothing on
there. It's there, Sandra.
So if we go into the dungeon,
it is there.
It is there. It is there.
Yeah, right? You can come.
I know Cassidy want to go there and go take pictures.
The dungeon I have to clean. I have to clean.
You have to clean the bush around it.
What was the dungeon was used to put the troublesome ancestors who were fighting. They throw them in there and they die there. Right.
So when we clean out the area where the dungeon is now, what we're going to see in there? Bones? What are we going to see?
You will see bones, of course.
Oh my goodness gracious. Oh,
see bones.
We're going to see bones.
We're going to see bones now. What would you see? You see bones. My forefathers and foremothers. Yeah, we see bones. Yes!
They did the same thing in Ghana, in one of the dungeons. There's one of the...
in Cape Coast?
Yes, in Cape Coast, where they have the room. It has the skull and bones over it. And for those, yes, and they put them in there. And the same thing, they locked the door. There was no air, no nothing. So
and they just die.
To die.
So when you went in there, you will feel them.
Mm-hmm.
That is what UNESCO is trying to erase our history. And a Jamaican woman.
That's right.
Jamaican woman.
Mrs. Hyatt.
Oh,
Mrs. Hyatt, Charles Hyatt's wife.
Okay.
Know all about it. She was the UNESCO project manager and went to Ghana and painted, whitewashed those buildings. And you know something?
Yes.
So that generations to come, when you go there, you'll probably say, oh, but this is not too bad. But fortunately, they only whitewashed it. You know what happened with whitewash?
It will wash out.
It wash out.
Because
like
the people, our people in the diaspora, have to go and visit Cape Coast, Elmina, Salt Pond.
Is there one in Calabar?
Yes. Yes. We have it. And our first governor Donald Duke has made like Madame Tussauds. Yes.
I also went to
in Calabar.
I went to Benin, and the United Nations, they put up a memorial there. But that one is basically artwork.
Yeah.
What's interesting about the one in Benin is that you go down a lane, and when you go down the lane, you have all of this. Let me tell you something. You see the Haitian art? They have so much art there, but there is nothing like entering that Cape Coast dungeon.
Castle.
Nothing like it. Nanama, we have to bring you back.
Yes,
Totally
and then another thing. Now we have Europe Square in Senegal.
Yes. Oh, that's another one now. That's another one.
Europe Square.
And as, again, the reason
Senegal.
that they can do these things is because we're not united.
That is it.
That's it. Because, there are arguments. You have Jamaicans out there, and them talking about African Americans, and them talking about the Africans on the continent. Stop it. Stop it. None of us are in any better position than the other. No. And we have to be able to love all of our people. All of our people.
Love.
That's it. We're not going to like everybody, But you see, as a people, we love everybody, Not so that you're going to like everybody because of their behavior.
No.
But you have to love your people. Like, for instance, there is no way, I was saying to somebody the other day, no way out of my mouth could ever call a person, an African person, a dog, a jankro, or say them dirty. No, I cannot do that. I can't. I've never done it, and I cannot do it. Because it is the respect for our people. It's the respect for our people. Their behavior, they won't carry themselves like that. Me not gonna call them that. Me know that. Because I know that I will get one rotted boof from them ancestors. You see? Me know that. Me going to get a boof from them. So you see these people who going around and call about the dirty this and the junk or that and well, trust me, your life ain't going to be so nice. And it ain't so nice. That's why you do it. You're insecure. That's why you do it. You're not a proud African. That's why you do it. But when you are a proud African, you do not do things like that.
You walk tall.
That's it. At all times.
Tall.
At all times.
All times with your head up.
Yes.
Even in your poverty.
Nanama.
Yes.
Sorry, we have to cut it here.
It's okay.
And we have to squeeze eye. I don't hear you say a word.
We have to unite. This is our time. Civilization started from Africa.
I want to thank Squeeze Eye also for bringing Nanama.
For bringing me.
Yes.
Yes.
You have something you want to say, Sandra? Cassidy, you have anything you want to say? You have anything you want to say?
Anytime. Anytime. I'm always in the house. Sista P, I'm looking, what you call it, investor for the hotel.
Yes.
And, to fix up the place so that we can get our people to come and visit and see the place, and pay honor to the ancestors. So I'm looking for an investor to come and help
or investors.
Or investors, whoever,
yes,
but it has to be.
We need to have a place.
My race.
But the important thing is
10% of the business.
I think the important thing is for us to be able to keep that property in the hands of our people.
That is it.
Nanama, thank you ever so much. All right. And listeners, as I say, we need to bring back Nanama.